And we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Michael here. Today, I have a treat where I will be going over business loan broker training in 2023 and beyond, how to crush it, how to set the foundations correctly, and how to have longevity in this business because you're in for a long time, not just a good time, short time. And so I will be going into the share screen as well, going into a document that perhaps you already have on hand or you can pick up. And I'll show you how to do that as well. And I'll be using that as guidance. I have a few notes that I put together. This is one of those last minute business loan broker trainings because I am quite flooded. I get busy. So I'm going to keep this short, try to go for as much as probably 15 to 20 minutes if possible, if not less, because I do have to get back to clients. And for those of you in here for the first time seeing me, just know that I do get flooded. I get quite busy. I have a lot of clients to go through and work with. And so I have my business loan broker business as well as my digital marketing agency, affiliate marketing businesses, and a few other ventures. So it'll happen where I can't get back to you right away, but please follow along if you're already in certain training in a program, and I'll be going into some of these things. You may have to allow StreamYard access, so please do so. If I can't see anything in the chat, you may allow StreamYard access. But again, welcome in. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, what part of the world. How's your day going? How's the week so far? And we're going to jump into things right away. So if you don't know much about me, I just mentioned a little bit. Why should you be hearing it from someone like myself? Well, with different lenders, different organizations I've become a part of, and I've worked tremendously smart and hard at the same time. I come from an academic background. I went to school and I went into sociology first. I was a Division I soccer athlete, and then I transitioned into chemical engineering. I really love the math. I like the system engineering. I like the chemistry, the sciences. And so then I transitioned into business administration. But one of my favorite classes is in college is chemistry. Still is to this day, and I go back to it. But I love that class. Now, I don't want to go too deep into my backstory, but just know that like many of you who were stuck in a 9-to-5 role, I was there. I was underappreciated, undervalued, underpaid. It's an understatement. I had to go back on unemployment benefits, food stamps again. And that was not for my doing. That was because the company turned over. Somebody bought them over. And then about 50 or so people got relieved. And I was working for one of the biggest contracting companies in a financial logistics role, servicing HP, Peace Health, and a few other organizations. So it was one of the biggest. And unfortunately, I had to go. And I was working with owners. I was doing things mentally hard. I had to lift some media up at the time, and I'm not physically built to do that, but it picked up a little bit, and I was there for stability reasons, and I couldn't move up a higher position. So like many of you, I've been there, done that, looking for passive ways to start a business. Therefore, I got into the whole digital marketing agency. I started learning about that through a friend, built that up, still have that running. I do a more do-it-for-yourself format. I have affiliate marketing businesses in the health space and a few other ventures. So let's get away from that. That's the long story short of it. I just want you to know where I come from, just so you know there is some perspective. There's some relatability, excuse me. I am Hispanic, Salvadorian, Mexican American. I grew up in Orange County, California. And so here we go. I'm going to get into the share screen in a moment. What you do need to know, and truly you need to know this, if you just signed up under me, let's say you found me through a specific service, a specific program, and you're like, I'm going to put my hand up. You haven't signed up, or you said, yes, you put in your information. Have you gone through the training is my question. If there's training material for you, that's where you need to begin right away. I'm all about energy and time. If I'm not efficient and if I'm deficient, inefficient, no good. I've learned to become more punctual and disciplined in my life. And so hopefully, sorry, I was getting a phone call. Hopefully those of you in here who don't have that or do, cherish that. And over time you grow into it. But what you should know as a business loan broker / agent, whatever part of the journey you're in, whether you are connected with direct lenders, which I have housed the best lenders myself. I've looked at those. I've gone directly, applied to them. I'm under them. And then there's an indirect partnership that many of you already know about. And in this market, especially with the disclosure laws and everything happening, it's a lot better to do it underneath a brokerage setup, and you have access. So I have access to those direct lenders myself already, but it's better to do it in an in-house look. Not all, but the majority of the best ones there. And so there's a lot of reassurance there and a lot more flexibility just depending on what positioning in as a business loan broker you are coming from slash agent. So you may be starting very fresh, or you may be like me who's somewhere like already in it long enough, or you already have those direct lenders. You probably work with indirect lenders underneath the brokerages, and that's fine. It's just what the market speaks to. But ultimately, what those of you in here have to understand is I'm not always one available. And so if I'm not available, what will you do? Will you crumble? Will you tumble? Will you just get upset? Will you feel like I need instant gratification? Well, a lot of people do. I'm not saying you will, but the majority of those. I didn't have any I didn't have any guidance. I joined under someone or I heard it from someone, but guess what I had to do? It didn't matter. They didn't reach out to me, but guess what I did? I'm a very savvy, meticulous, cerebral person. And yes, I figured it out for myself. Yes, there was some trial and error, and you don't have to go through those as I did. But what you have to understand is, as a business loan broker slash agent, this is your business. If you've never been in business, I can see why you may have that mindset that, hey, if I didn't have somebody on my team or somebody on my upline, if you're working with a company like that, you don't need all of that. You have to focus on your own personal revenue before you start focusing on, well, if I bring people in, that's okay. If you have an organization that allows you to do that, okay, you can do that, but produce. This is the whole premise of this training, is producing your own personal clients, not just recruiting, not just showing up and getting a percentage of someone else and depending on someone else. Because in the business loan broker space, if that's what you are relying on, and again, if you're associated with the service that allows you to build on a team, residual, and all of that, I get it, how it works. But the primary thing is focus on your own personal clients, because not only will you be more rewarded, but you will feel better not having to rely on a team. Because I have a lot. You have multiple people that I remember, that I know that are on my team. And I go, where have they gone? Why aren't they doing anything? Oh, because he didn't show them. What? Not my fault. What have you done even the training? You've asked for my help, but have you done any of the training that's been asked for? No. Well, yes, I have, but then I haven't done, I've tried this strategy. And I asked them, how did that go? What did you do? And I figure out their strategy and tactics and really game plan and understand, okay, they did it correctly, but somewhere along the line they fell short. Was it the strategy and tactics? Was it themselves? So a big part of this, guys, is having discipline. Let's transition into that, and then I'll get into the share screen for this document, okay? So the services, you got to know why yourself. Why are you getting into this business? Why you? I'm not asking you about the business. I'm asking about you. That's what you need to answer me, and not even me. You got to answer that for yourself internally, not all external reasons, internal reasons. Why do you want to do this? What's pinching you? What's giving you pain so much that you want to get into a solution, or you're going away from that? What is it that you're trying to figure out? What's that pain point? And you dial in on that, and that carries you in over time. Why do you do what you do? What? We can get into the services. What kind of services? We're going to get into that in a little bit, but why should you do this? Secondly, what are the services? How is the process of those services? You really need to understand your how. If you're going to be marketing, you're going to be, I don't like to use the word selling at all. But if you want to market, if you want to get in front of people, how do you do it most effectively? We'll be covering some of those things. So the why you're doing it, not your business. I don't want to know about why you created a website on the name. I want to know about why you first. Are you going to fit my ecosystem? Will you fit my culture? If not mine, who else's? Your own. And so what are those services? Merchant cash advance. We're going to go into all of this. Hybrid cash advances, excuse me. You have the cash flow based, revenue based services. You have the credit based. You have the collateral. I'll be going into some of that in a second. And actually, I'm going to jump on that right now, and then we'll get into the document. I'll cover the what now, I'll cover the how, and then we'll go into the document. So we covered some of the why. I can give you guys a lot of examples, like my reasoning. I didn't want to continue to feel like I was a failure for my family, not being able to provide for them, but then them doing it the other way. And I wanted to reciprocate that and be better at it. And I did it for a while, but things were on a downturn, especially when the company was bought over. And so those things were out of my control. I thought about going back to school to get another degree, to finish up another semester, and then do another field, probably go into banking. I originally wanted to do chemistry and chemical engineering, and all these things that happen in life, it just happens. And it was my younger 20s. earlier 20s, late getting into the 20s, later teens. So we all come from a different point. So why? We have to identify, because if you do not know why I want to do it to earn more money, that's not a good reason. Because if you don't have a strong enough why, don't even do this, because you're going to end up failing. I know that. I've seen it time and time again. And I'm at the top, guys. I don't say that to sound cocky at all. I say this as confidence and certainty. I'm an introvert, very meticulous, cerebral person, introverted. And so I see and observe everything more than I speak. I really do listen. I'm here on video because I know this helps you guys. But when I'm not here, I'm working. And so I'm going to give this up for another 15 minutes. But what I want you guys to know is, if you don't have a strong enough reason why you're doing this, and your why can change over time, and where your why is leading you to. But if you don't have that, it's going to be very difficult, because you are going to find yourself in days where you don't get nothing done, or you do. And I'm very productive at what I do. And if you have days where they're maybe not that way, or they are, but you're not getting any clients, perhaps you're not communicating with enough of them, or it's not evolving into the application, and then from the application into the underwriting, and then from there, then the final underwriting, final underwriting, and then thereafter they take the offer, or wherever you are in the process, you will melt. You have to be thick-skinned. And I'm by no means somebody who's aggressive. I'm no means, and I've told people this, my personality does not meet this industry, because it's so volatile for certain services. That's why I have a lead generation digital marketing business. This is why I do these other ones as well. But this is my primary focus, and I've been doing well. I've been doing well for myself. And I still have those days per month, per quarter, and where I have to reevaluate and look at the market. So what the services, are you promoting a medium to high rate interest product, or a factor rate? Perhaps you've heard of those merchant cash advances, or those hybrid cash advance products. And if you don't know what those are, a merchant cash advance, it's based on future receivables. So a lender or a company, let's say for an example, gets funded. It's not a traditional business loan, not based on those APRs or interest rates, not amortized for that schedule. It's not a traditional bank loan or online bank loan. And so what happens is, they're paying back a portion of their future sales. And so whatever they're generating in sales in the future, they're paying a certain percentage of, a fixed percentage. It can be variable. So if they earn more in sales one day, more gets taken out of their account. And if they make less certain days, and they get less taken out. Now, there's a hybrid, or there's a derivative. But before I go into that, the traditional merchant cash advance product, it's based on credit card statements. So who's it ideal for? That's what you have to figure out. And we'll go into that in a moment. But those types of businesses are needed for like restaurants and retail. Those are who are producing a high amount of credit and are taking those credit card transactions, even debit card transactions. And then there is a derivative of what a lot of you may already know about, a hybrid cash advance. And this isn't based just on credit card statements, but all revenue going into the business, cash, ACH checks. I got to get moving on this, so I could go into this a lot deeper. But what you need to know is it's all revenue. And I could spend a lot of time speaking about that, but not right now. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to voice them in the comments, and I'll get to you guys accordingly. So make sure you guys understand the services that you guys are getting involved with. If it's a cash advance product, understand the whole details about it. What kind of cash advance is this? What kind of lender should I take my client to directly? Who would they be looked at if it was indirectly? If I already had those direct lender partners with that indirect brokerage, which I, for the majority of the time, do, then who am I working with? And even if you don't have those partners, it's okay. But the thing is, you have to understand what type of lender will want that client. You cannot just expect to just put an application link in the bio or put it on social media. I see a lot of what you guys are doing, and it's incorrect. And I'm fine with correcting you. I won't bash down. I won't be negative. I'll correct course. But I see a lot of people in these Facebook groups and people coming back to me going, here's an update, Michael. I have no result. And then I find out what they were doing, and it was opposite of what I tried to tell them. And you want to do what's in the least amount of effort. Your resistance has to be short. So I get it. I get that. With clients, no friction, no resistance. I shut down clients literally like day by day who are generating like 10 million a month, 20 million a month. I'm not even joking, you guys, who are generating millions upon millions in annual gross revenue. And here's the reason why, because a lot of them are volatile. It's not those that just have bad credit or a lower profile with fundability being cash flow, credit, collateral, whatever it is. It's also those that are high above, because it shows me their character. Character is what should matter to you in this industry. And instead of just going for volume, focusing on a specific psychographic, not just demographic of people who, okay, well, they're in the trucking, their age is this is how old they are, they have this. Yeah, but how do they think? What are their values? What are their aspirations? What are their beliefs? Do you need to reconstruct their belief system? What are their misconceptions? What are their misunderstandings with this industry, with these services that you're providing to them? If you haven't knocked down those barriers, those challenges, those questions, those roadblocks, forget about getting them the results, because many of times you'll have a client who doesn't know about anything, or you do get that client, but it's misconstrued. And so they think something is the way it needs to be, or they think about it a certain way when it is completely wrong, or partially, or wherever they are, you have to meet them there. So it's most important that you're energy and time efficient at this, that you understand your services you are getting people involved with, because there are a lot of them, and not every product will be the same product market fit for every person. And so if you're going out there and you're promoting somebody a cash advance product because that's what you've been told to, those are the only products you have access to, and you're getting a business owner who is generating 30,000 a month, or let's say 50,000 a month, they have 800 credit or whatever it is, they have 10 years time in business, and they have the fundability of business credit or anything else. Do you think your primary service to promote that product to that person is a cash advance of a medium to high rate, factor rates between 1.19 to 1.69 or 1.55, whatever it is? That's the question you need to be asking yourself when you're working with people. And I'm going to read through a Facebook post in a second. I might show you, or I'll just read it through, but get to understand your clientele. More specifically, get to understand how they think. Don't just go through the demographics. I even do real estate financing, and with those individuals too, I want to filter out who have they worked for, who do they work for, what have they done in the last 2 to 3 or so years, what kind of deals, what kind of liquidity, how much cash on hand do they have, what could be the ARV, LTV, LTC on all of these different properties that we're looking at. But it's the same thing when you're using business funding concepts. If you're misaligned and you think, well, I'm just going to go target that beauty salon business owner, and even if she's your friend, even if she's a family member, know who they are. How do they think? Because it'll cause disruption. I can't tell you guys how many times I get people, and I get a load of people from startups to non-startups. Startups with pre-revenue, with just a little bit. They haven't done anything, but they formed an LLC or some form of incorporation. And then business owners who are in business generating revenue, who are having setbacks with cash flow, or those who are going full throttle and doing well, generating higher revenue per year, per month, profitability, cash flow is all the way up there, etc. And I see it from every single angle. And I know how difficult you must have it right now. So understand the what. Is it a merchant cash advance? Are you promoting a business line of credit? Is it equipment financing? Are you doing collateral where it's commercial real estate and or developable land, invoices, account receivable financing, inventory lines of credit financing? Is it a personal line of credit that's secured with collateral, ERS retirement funds? Is it a home, stocks and bonds, mutual funds? What is the service? You have to know those. And you don't have to be an all-in-one where you have to do all of them at once. You can focus on one of those services and get dialed in. I have different lenders, different organizations for different services, and I go, okay, this is my people here for my personal term loan, installment loans, personal lines of credit, or personal credit cards and business credit cards. We can do a combination of. If this guy has the profile and they want business credit cards, we can do 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. This is the right lender I'm going to send them to. Now, if this person is looking for a cash advance, or they're not generally looking for them, but that's the only thing they can qualify for, how do I align them with the right direct lender, or is it the brokerage? Usually a brokerage in this market is the best way to go. And so knowing those different services and knowing that if you know them well enough, you shouldn't just spread yourself too thin. I was in a meeting earlier today and I commented in the box because I don't usually voice doing things, I'm working. But what happened is they were asking and they were saying, well, right now getting a revenue-based client and this, they were having problems. And I said, this is why you don't cut yourself through too thin. You have to focus on spreading yourself out, because in this market right now, a lot of businesses are going through turmoil and they're having difficulties making payroll. Look what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. Of course, that's under the technology venture capitalists. No, I'm not spending time talking about that today. But the thing is, if you spread yourself too thin, you'll see what'll happen. You'll lose out on clients. You'll lose out on potential value on helping people. And that's ultimately what should be on your frame of mind, is value, not how do I sell them? How do I become that sleazy person that if they didn't want the product today, I'm going to get them the product tomorrow? That's not the way they need to be hearing from you. So you really need to be able to provide value, education, and then lead them so that they get to that point where they make that decision on their own. You cannot be pushy. You cannot be aggressive. You cannot feel like you need to raise your tonality to someone because they didn't deserve it, or you have to find the right time to do it. Okay? And making sure you meet them where they are at is most important. If you're speaking about the results, yeah, I can get you $30,000. And if you go through this application with 3 months of bank statements, and you know what I mean? Oh, but how do you solve my problem? How do you help me make a payroll? How do you help me get emergency funds? How are you going to help me make sure my shipping costs go low, where I'm not going through plane, but I'm going through ground, I'm going through a boat, and then I'm cutting my split with my vendors and suppliers from 50%, margins are increasing by decreasing that amount to 10%. How many of you actually dig deep into the problems that the people are having? That's the question. And no, you don't have to necessarily do it all by phone. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. And down below in the description, I'll have a video, I believe, on my 7-step process that I created, where I do things very uniquely, not the same like anybody else does. And if I were to be on phone calls doing this with people every day, I wouldn't be doing this anymore. I'd be out. I would have been out like years ago. But I've perfected my processes, my systems, my automation. And again, I'll have that video. I can't spend too much time on that today with this one, but make sure you check that out if you'd like to learn my 7-step process. I'll also have some like LinkedIn marketing, and I'll show you how to go from like LinkedIn to Facebook, how to do a multi-purpose approach, and why those platforms are so useful. But make sure you check that out in time. So making sure the what, there are different services and so much to go through. The how's the process looking for them? What do they need to go through? Have you clearly communicated with them that from start to finish, this is what it'll be? Too many times I get people who ask questions in a group. It's very beginner question, and it's okay. Or I get people who come to me and they ask me something and I'll help them out. But the thing is, if you're just sending somebody into an application blindly and this is what you thought it would be, you're in for a whole new thing. Because again, it shouldn't be that simple. And if you've done your things effectively, if you've perfected your systems at least, or you've done whatever you could, and you did your part, but the client didn't go through. And that's the part about volatility. And I want to read something very quickly before I go into this how to promote document. You might have seen this post, so please hang in there. The number one thing you cannot control is so unpredictable. That is, try not to let this drag you down. Hi guys, Michael here. I usually try to keep these things to myself, but I wanted you to know the number one thing you can't control is people. What do I mean? I've had a heck of a week, and that was last week, of twists and turns, and it's been crazy. And I'll get clients who are committed, who are very loyal, who are transparent, and do this and that. But then sometimes they break that bond. No matter how much of a personal and business relationship you've built, that can happen. Believe me, I've been in this long enough to know I could be the best at what I do. I could be the most loyal person in this industry, but to them, they might look at things and go, I'm going to let my ego get in the way. I'm going to let my stubbornness. And that's what a lot of people lead with. And they're not doing necessarily what's in their best interest all the time. And so what they're looking at you as somebody who wants to sell them. And you have to clarify that you're not there to do that. Their perception and their belief. And if I didn't know what a business loan broker was, I may be thinking the same thing. So you have to step back and say, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to sell you. And literally, that's not what I do with people. And I normally don't. And you usually shouldn't do that. You should be guiding them. I never have sold anybody on like, well, I'm pressuring them and I'm giving them the benefits and reminding them only of what they got into and reminding them that if they took these funds, this is how it would help them increase their revenue. This is what they would be able to apply it towards. This is what it would look like in 4 months, 6 months, etc. But you're not just being that sales tacky or those sleazy methods that people are using. And I'm not a traditional salesperson, but I knock it out of the park when I do this. And I speak like this slowly, not to be slow because I'm meticulous and I want you to listen. So when I do speak slowly, pay close attention. So understand that. Let me get back to this. Many clients will be loyal and many others are not. They make you believe they are. Their word is not their bond anymore. And all it takes is one thought to shatter things. Focus on what you can control, help as many people as you can, and clarify and break down beliefs, misconceptions, misunderstandings, build your personal and business brand, etc. But once that ball is in their court, you only, and I put only in caps locks, hope they make the right decision. I won't go deep, but a person's character tends to get in their way and influences their decision. So let's back up there. We'll close up here, coming close to 30 minutes. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. The replay will be up for you guys to watch if you couldn't watch it all thoroughly. We'll try to get out of here before 40 or so minutes. Again, I got a few things to cover. So, reputation, character. You have to reverse engineer the way the client thinks because they're thinking with outcome. Okay. They have this big problem, pain points, you need to bridge them over to the results, but you have to, again, meet them where they are. And the thing is, a lot of these business owners are so stuck in their business and in their own ways, they may be doing everything. They may be so low in employees or they don't have any. They're a one-man show and they're handling everything. So they may not have the time to work on themselves. And so they may just be so focused on building their brand or their business reputation that they forget about their own personal image, or they have this already. But the problem that I see reoccurring is you're going to deal with tire kickers. You will deal with pretenders, and there will be action takers. There will be pretenders who turn into action takers. And there will be those who are like me. Like I look at them and I go, wow, this guy's an entrepreneur. He understands energy and time. He won't waste it. We got right to it. Simple. I got to know them. I got to go over the business solutions and what would be best. And they went through the application without a problem. They completed it. Good. On the other end, strong communication. We had that relationship built. We didn't have to do a lot. We didn't have to do 3 dang phone calls, 4 phone calls, 5 phone calls of 20, 30-minute calls. And then for what? For where did it go? Now, you shouldn't expect that, but you should be able to give information to people and not expect anything. But at the same time, if you're just the information person, you're going to burn out very, very quickly. And if you just decide, if you just are the person who's going to say, I'm going to accept anybody and everybody, best of luck. Because I have a lot of people who come to me and I still don't accept everybody. I have to look at certain people the way that they are. Who they are is important to me. It really is. That's what I love. But does it make sense? And people still to this day want to send me text messages and I can't get back to them because I also sent them what they needed. It's just refer to my email. I'll probably get back to them. I can't right away. But too many people are going to want you on a call and for what to go where and what and send it. You're like, oh yeah, just we built rapport. Now let me send you more information via email. Maybe it does develop, maybe it doesn't. But these are chances that I can't take. And you shouldn't take them when you grow even bigger. When you start getting as many people as I've been getting, because I do get flooded. You guys should see my email inboxes, but that is information I can't share. But it is flooded. And I have to go through there. And there's an approach that I do to this where I normally don't, like there's a lot of times where I don't have to get on a call with somebody to make sure that they get their funding because I've done things in a way where I've used this in ways where I know how to guide them through the right process. So I give people a customized and personalized email response on their best funding option and options, and I'll show them everything, whether they can or can't qualify. So they have to look at that email. And if they would like a call, at least by that point, they know what options are available because I'm not going to give them 20, 30 minutes extra because that could be a call underneath a minute. Hi, Michael. Yes, I saw the options. I like number 1. I think that's what I want to lean in with. And you did say this. I just wanted clarity on it. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Michael. I will move forward with that. Hey, when can I expect to receive your documents and application by? Or they'll probably tell me. And so from there, it's like less than a minute. Great. Now all you have to do is wait for that. Now, is their word their bond? So let's go back into this. So character matters a lot. Personality traits, how you focus on a specific way of people thinking. That is what's very important. Not just anybody and everybody, which is okay, especially when you're getting started, but be very careful. Now here, any clients will be loyal. Like I said, we went into the misconceptions, put the balls in their court. And Okay. Their decision may be influenced by external and internal reasons, what they see and perceive to believe. I've had people take money from other sources when they shouldn't have, whether they knew what they were doing or not. It's unacceptable. At the point now where we've built loyalty and trust, and they could have just came back to me and they knew how things worked, but they decided because I got an email, and you guys are going to get clients who are getting bombarded. Trust me, if you haven't already, you're getting clients probably right now who are getting bombarded by 20 different lenders and providers, whether they apply to them or not. The credit bureaus are able to display this information for people who can buy it. There's syndication leads. There's other ways of getting email lists off the web, and people are just regurgitating this to the same person. So why are you any different? That's what needs to matter. How are you? They're not going to want to know exactly. They're going to know why the business, but why you? You have to lead in with you, and you lead in with your Epiphany Bridge story. You start from your background and you get to where you got to. And you're telling them, hey, I'm still on this journey like you are. I'm still building my business credit, my personal credit. I'm still trying to get this much access. But once you get to where I get to, I will be then able to show you the right path. Unlike these others out there who are overpromising and under-delivering, overwhelming you. You're going to go apply to different places, but is it in your best interest? Are they going to get you the best? Maximum amount, terms, rates. Even if it's just a soft pull, you're racking up inquiries. And that's what the lender doesn't want to see. So when you go and apply for the same or another lender, they'll tell you just recently applied in the last 30 days and all of this. So you have to meet them there. And if you don't do that crucial part, everything else may work, but you're doing 50-50. They may love you, they might like you, but at the same time, they may just abandon you like that. You can lose loyalty in the business loan broker space fast. Real estate as well. So now let me go back into this. I know we have been going on for a little bit. I'm going to try to cut it short. We'll see how time goes though. Whether they knew what they were doing or not. And I show them what to be careful of and not to do. The advantages here and elsewhere, etc. They get bombarded with a whole lot of emails from other providers, lenders, etc. At any second, it can go in any direction. Boom, energy and time into what? So I had a client who we were giving them supposedly a second position. I gave her funding. We gave her funding for $200,000 initially, late December. Comes back in this month, early this month, with her last 4 months of bank statements ready. And I'm not going to get into all the details. I know what they were going through. But what happened is we got them a great offer. We went to the right lender, spoke with that lender, made sure since we have that connection with them, then we were able to show them an offer around $93,000 or so. And before that, she was going through others that I didn't even know about. They were giving her less, like $15,000 or so. So this was a second position, and she really needed the money. And I found out towards the end, at that point, that she had taken money from another lender, and she shouldn't have done that. Whether it was an urgent need or not, I don't think she needed that. But my real estate investor friend who connected me with her, he was upset, and he's at the top of what he does. And he's like, I'm no longer working with her. We've had a great relationship for about 18 or so years. It's like I had a sword, not even a knife, a sword put in my back. Somebody who lost loyalty and who went behind her back doing that. Whether they knew it or not, they should have come up to me, and they know they had that. But there's people out there who will do that to you. And if they don't, great. I don't have it happen too often. It rarely happens, like once in years. But there are people who do that, who are very volatile or just don't get it. And you show them something and you feel like you got to tell them 100 times until they get it. And then you just got to read the room. You got to understand if this is an energy, time efficient file. And if it is, it is. If it isn't, I mean, are you just helping them? And then nothing comes about it? Or if nothing comes about it, is it okay? Yeah, in certain cases. So here, they get bombarded, boom, energy and time into what? This is why you have to make sure, especially when it comes to the advanced merchant cash advance, hybrid cash advance products, that you are not solely working with shady people, hard-headed, stubborn ones, etc. But if you focus on specific psychographics of people, not just demographics, those with loyalty, proper, discipline, punctuality, the right beliefs, aspirations, energy and time management, those who have a foundation of their business, perhaps higher revenue business, who have that structure, operations, financial, who have the products and the services, how they deliver on that, the market, the whole team, the whole enchilada. And so those entrepreneurs, those people like myself, perhaps yourself too, if you're not there, you'll get there in time with personal development. But those who are very protective of this, those who are strong up here, but those that also understand their finances, because many business owners, I'm telling you, you're trying to help them with funding, but they don't even understand their own finances and the decision that they're making. They may not even understand their own return on investment from taking the funding, activity and financial return on investment. I'm just not saying ROI, financial numbers. I'm saying, do they really know what they're using this money for? What the implications of not using this money correctly? Yeah, but I just want to use it to fix something. Yeah, how temporary will that be? And once you do fix that, is that all the funding you're going to be using it towards? Okay, no, I'm going to have about 25% left over and I plan to come back. So I'm going to use 25% of that for another truck. I'm going to use it as a down payment for something that I'm already looking at. I'm going to need more, Michael, because I'm going to get a new yard. I'm going to get a new warehouse. Okay, good. At that point, does it make sense how much we can actually get them, etc.? That's another question. So here, but you have to focus on those things. You'll have a better recipe for success. No different than when you're cooking some chicken, you're cooking a nice steak for your spouse, your friends and family, whatever you are doing, you're putting everything right. You're baking a cake, make sure the flour, the amount of eggs, everything is the way that it needs to be, build the foundation up. Otherwise, you will be kicking yourself, literally, I've been there, in the foot and in many ways, wasting energy and time. And I put in parentheses, galore. You don't want that. You'll burn out quickly. You might reshuffle and then start again and really recalibrate and look at your plan again, or you might do the same thing you were doing without going in the right direction. I've always said this to myself. It's not the leads, communication, my systems, my processes, my automation. It's not my issue. At this point in my career, with what I've been able to do, like build systems out, I love the systems engineering part, the iteration. I love the back end work. And that's what fits more of my mold. But I can do this exceptionally well because I've learned the skill sets. And so what it is when it comes to me, for you, it may be different, or you'll probably be here, or you already are here. But the same reason I came into this industry, which is to help people and continue with their vision, and my vision is to help them stimulate the economy through them and help them help their own customers and help them thrive, not just survive and thrive, but thrive and scale and do much more, is the same reason why I will leave it. Why is that? Because of the people. It's the same reason I would leave. So who would have thought the same reason I got into this is the same reason I left? And the reason, again, it's not because it's money related stuff, but because of the impact of the person on the other side. You're trying to help get funding for just creates a lot of energy, time, and inefficiencies, and it's too unpredictable. But you have to move on to the next one. And at that point, I get that. Move on. I have that in my mind already. That's fine. But at a point, if this keeps occurring and it keeps happening, because it did and it still happens to me at times, is that even enough to say, hey, I just got to move on? You'll get to a point where you'll ask yourself, enough is enough. I've tried what I can, but did you do it correctly? That's the question. It's not, I just tried. What did you do? What could you have done different? What could you have done better? Could you have talked less, heard the client more? Because you don't have to talk a lot with the client. As long as you're digging up and you're asking questions, that's how you get to things. Why do you need the funding? What happened to your truck? Why did it happen? How long ago did that happen? Have them talk. Let them give you the answers. And then you jump to things and you say, hey, I'm going to take less than a minute. But what I want to do is, can I collect your email address? This way I can follow up and send you the details to the service or these different services. I'll give you one or two options. The first one will be the most recommended one based on what you provided. And so you have to really guide the conversation. Don't let them steer you. Whether it's a phone call, it's an email, text message, whatever it is, DM. You have to really not be aggressive. In ways you do have to be aggressive, as in like put your foot forward and let them know that you're taking control of things and you're helping them and you're not necessarily doing it in a bad way, but you're doing it the way that it needs to be done. So, but you have to move on, and you might ask yourself, is that even enough at the point where I'm at? What are your thoughts on the matter? Talk soon. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shift over to the screen. I know we've gone over time. 1 second. Okay, let me move it. There it is. All right, so I'm going to quickly go over this document. And if you haven't signed up as a partner, as an affiliate, or as a broker, wherever you are in their journey, then I'll try to leave more information in the description for my #1 recommended place to begin. And you can get started for free. You can build your own team, but you don't have to necessarily focus on that. like I do. I focus necessarily all on my personal clients. I have you guys as well, and I have lead generation systems that work for me like this, automatic or non-automatic. But at the same time, like I said, for those of you who expect something from me right away, because it used to be that way, it's just I got really busy, productive. I built my brand personally and in business. So I won't be sorry. I shouldn't be. I hope you guys can understand that. I'm not being sorry in terms of, well, I have to focus on my own clients. For a lot of you who are in part of these programs, who just keep hearing from people in certain groups, or who keep just saying, hearing people telling you to recruit, I get there's a point to that where you can build residual income over time. That's cool. But you just can't rely on a team, especially in this industry. With these kinds of services, you cannot just rely, even if you have a big team like I do, you just can't rely on them. So every day you have to wake up with the mentality that you're going to keep focusing on getting your own personal clients and start building that team if you can at the same time, but your own personal clients. Stop putting too much emphasis on, well, I want to get this person on. Now you spend 20 days doing the same thing. Like, in those 20 days, what could you have done? You could have focused on getting your own clients. And so every minute of every millisecond of my day, I'm really, really diligent. And I get a pet peeve when people waste it. And so I'm very, very transition wise. And after this is done, I have to speak with a quick group of people, of clients. So I'll be doing that. I normally don't do that as much, but I actually have this one will be different though. This one will be a quick live on a social media channel where I'm going to be going in and speaking. And it hasn't been set. It's just something I'm going to go in there and do. And again, I don't like video, but I know it works. So you have to figure out the strategies and tactics that work and build the skill sets around that would enable you to do that, not short term, but longer term, and just being more energy and time efficient at what you're doing. There's so many different things I can share with you. We're limited on time though today. I can do this for 2 hours. Into each segment we've already spoken about this far, I could literally spend about hours upon hours on each and every one of them, but we're not going to right now. So this document will come in handy when you sign up through me as a partner, if you decide you want to go down that route. And if you have already, you likely have this. And if not, I may send it to you in time. But what it is here is how you can promote a specific service, but other programs as well. This isn't limited to one exact program. Okay. This isn't just let's promote this one service you signed up under me or another service and let's just focus on their services, because you have to also spread yourself around. And if it's one place, okay, you might have all products and services, but you still have to figure out the market and understand what's in the best interest. What lenders do they work with? Who are they working with? You got to ask these questions as well. So I go through this. I'm going to skip the intro here so we can get moving forward. Quick reality check, cleaning house. I put, listen, if you don't do any work and you expect to get handed the results and commissions and other successes, you might as well not even read this document and just go away. And I don't mean that as an aggressive way. I mean that is if it's the same thing. When you speak to a client, if they don't align with your vision, your mission, with you, they're not right for you. Get over it. They're not meant for you. And if they don't like the way you are, then they're not a right fit for you. You might still get them funded. And for me, I'm very pressureless. I'm very nice. I really give people the benefit of the doubt a lot. I'm not always direct. My younger brother will be more, but I can be. And when it's time to. But the thing is, don't let ever people take advantage of you. People don't take advantage of me. Some people think they can, but when they find out something, they learn very quickly, or they learn that I don't even get in contact with them. They want my attention. I can't give them that. They ruin something. They got to hold off. I might get back to them. Move on to my next person that I've been helping, who's more loyal, who is more here and here. We're meeting on the same page. I got to know them personally. I got to know a little bit about their family. People open up to me about their marriages. I've had phone calls with people at court orders. I've had people with meetings getting a sandwich, and they love hearing from me. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a phone call, but when they hear from me, they go, oh, I know who he is, because they've seen my content. And I'll go into some of the strategies you can use to promote yourself. And I know we took a bit of time. I know those of you in here who are like, why didn't you just get to the marketing strategies? Well, if I did, it really wouldn't be a training on getting yourself together now, would it? I'd be just showing you different strategies. And when you go and apply them, your mentality, your way of doing it, the strategies and tactics, are you really ready to do this? It wouldn't really realign and you would burn out quickly. I know the way you guys think. I know your guys' psychology very, very well, because I've been there, done that. So here, There is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme, a scam, none of that. A push button solution and putting no effort into the play the long game or play the long game. That's what you guys need to put in your mind is I didn't get a client today. It'll happen. Believe me, I'm there with you. I still get clients like this where they didn't tell me this when I asked them, whether it was on a phone call or in an email. Maybe they were embarrassed. They don't want to reveal something about their background, or they just feel like they can get away with it, or they just want to go through the application, and you wasted your energy and time, your team, let alone your reputation. You put people through. And so you have to think about these things. And sometimes they don't give you everything. And there's tire kickers. There's people who started an application just 10 minutes ago. I have my systems where I didn't even communicate with this person. They started a personal loan application. Should they have? No. I saw their credit. What are they doing starting a personal loan application after I gave them information? I didn't even have to get on a call. Now, that's okay. I have things, I'm well advanced in what I do, guys. And so I can help you. But the thing is, with these individuals, they can see something dead straight in their eyes, and the same thing is going to happen. They're still going to go and apply, just so I can see if it is actually going to work. That's not the way to approach it, but you have to be very cautious with certain people. Now let's go back into this. This goes for any venture online, such as a home-based business. So put in the time and work. Do the smart. Work harder and smarter to then work smarter at the end. Reverse engineer your results by focusing on these behaviors first. Focus on the who. Who is your identity, as I spoke about, and we can also say why. The why, which is why you're doing this in the first place. We spoke about that. External and internal reasons, but look at it internally. Then the how, which is developing your systems, such as your habits, your routines, business automation. Then the what, which are the results. Did you hear me on that? I'm literally handing you the keys to like a very expensive luxury vehicle for you to succeed. Be accountable and responsible for all that you do. That means thoroughly take your time and to go through the strategies and tactics before you think about reaching out and looking inside of the group, wherever you're associated with, where you can search for any problem you have, the search bar. Whatever problem, question you have, it's likely already been answered in there, which I'm okay if you reach out to me. I'm very happy to help, but go through it yourself first and then take the action necessary. I want to know if I can meet you where I need to meet you. If we're here, are you here? No. We're going back over here. No, we should be here now. You need clarity? Good. I got you. No worries. You are here now. Okay, now we're going back to the same thing. No. I have people till this day who try to join within my partnership underneath my team, and I deliver. I do well, but I can't always be there every single second, who still are like, I want to find out more. They want 3-4 freaking calls. No. And you have to understand that not every person is going to continue forward with this. Not every person is going to show up. And if you show up, will you get your results? When will those successes, what kind of successes will come in? I could tell who are the people who are earning, and I can tell who those are not. I could tell easily who those of you are committed and those of you who are not. I differentiate primary, secondary constraints. I can see all of this stuff. I know when you guys show up and when you don't. You might be doing this partially. You have a credit repair business. You're a loan officer. You do home mortgages. Okay, but why are you expecting these results when you're not focused on it? That's the question. And there's so many more. But let me go back into this document. We'll close up. Try to close up underneath an hour. I know we're over time, guys, but I hope you guys are getting value. They'll say something like, I went through this step and that step, but they really didn't. So make sure you go through everything. Don't try to play dumb with me. And I don't say that in a bad way. It's like funny as in like, come on, funny. It's like, please don't play that dumb card. Play that like, I know I got to go through the training and then Michael would like for me to reach out to him. Yes, that's more effective. Instead of me asking you, if I have to ask you, have you gone through the training or have you done at least the first 2 to 3 steps? And you say no, but you've been in this for so long. Like, where have you been? You got to be resourceful, guys. That's what it takes. Resourcefulness. Doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, 10 years old, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's about being resourceful. That's what it comes to. And I had to be very resourceful. You think somebody told me and grabbed me by the hand and told me, Michael, go market a product like this? And no, I've already had a background in it that helped, but I also do things on ground. I do things on foot. I can do it, but I don't do it as much. I have those accountants. I have those real estate investors. I have the bookkeepers. I have access to bank managers, bank relationship managers. I have all those things. So what is the problem? Again, what it comes back to is the person. That's ultimately what it comes back to. So here, Side note, I say this wholeheartedly and not to be mean or anything, but the truth is, it's not my fault if you were to fail. Like, it really isn't. Like, I can point you in the direction and you could be doing things well, but it just doesn't work. Keep at it. But are you doing what's correct? It's usually the person you're looking at in the mirror. So change your actions. It's better you hear this from me. And now, before you move forward, I'm doing this for you and your own good. This is like some tough love from a big brother. I'm the oldest brother of two of us, and I just have to keep things straight with you. And I have to step in and be the big brother here, ensuring that you're on the right path to greatness and doing it correctly day in by day out. Okay. I don't waste anybody's time, and I don't want to waste anybody's energy. And, I'm going to take a break after this because I'm kind of tired from a video. Your money goals. So you want to go through and ask yourself, how much money per month would you honestly be happy earning inside your business loan broker business? Example, I gave you that. Question 2, how much money per month would you be honestly really excited earning in your loan broker business? Give me a real answer. Question number 3, how much time are you actually willing to invest into these activities to reach your goals for your business loan broker business? Give me the real answer. That may change over time. It's okay. Notice how I asked about how much time you're willing to invest. Treat this as a marathon, not a sprint. Did the rabbit or the tortoise win the race? Be the tortoise. 5 factors to your success. First off, you have to get laser targeted on a market. Have you heard of a jack of all trades but master of none? The rules apply with a certain lender or a company that I've listed, and loan lending. Anywhere you go, that should focus on a certain market and get exceptionally great at it. Why? You can speak your audience's language. You can speak to their problems, pain points. You know what service or services they need. You know the market average loan value. You know your lifetime value or LTV of a customer. And there's so much more. We spoke a little bit about this earlier. In the beginning, you might feel like you should go abroad so you can start targeting dentists, chiropractors, then a real estate investor, next a salon, etc. And you can have a list of these with some of the methods I'm going to show you below, but stick to one market and focus on it. So think of these 5 key ingredients I'm going to show you, like baking a cake. If you don't add the eggs, it will fall apart. If there is no flour, it will not rise. Therefore, you need a basic foundation. Number 1, you pick a product. The what, remember? What is that product? What is that service? Is it a cash advance? Is it a personal term loan? What is that service? That's what you need to answer. What is that service you're going to be well focused on? So now let me go back into this. And I won't go through all of these. I'm kind of tired, guys. I did about a 2-hour live yesterday. I shouldn't be doing this for this long today. I said I would leave early, but hopefully you're getting value. Number 2, pick a niche. Who are you going to be focused on? Pick a demographic, but pick the psychographic. Pick the person. It's not always as easy to pick the psychographics, but make sure you're working with somebody who is not going to cause you a lot of friction and resistance or none of it at all. You just don't want to waste your energy and time. Research where your audience is congregating. Next, you want to dial in on the veins where your niche audience hangs out so you can plug yourself into their conversations that are happening there. So if you're doing this on foot, it might be through bank managers. It might be through the certain associations that you can get access to, something local within your community, the Chamber of Commerce, listed on other directories if you have a chance to, real estate investor friends. How are you plugging into those? How are you building those relationships? It might be social media. So I'm an internet marketer, guys, and I'm able to do things everywhere. Literally, I have all connections. I have them from banks, accountants, real estate investors, those send me files. I have a lot of internet marketing material. I built up my blogs. I produced over 2,000 blog posts over different niches and businesses. I've done it for others as well. I've helped them. I have a YouTube channel. I have multiple. I have a social media presence. I have followers in the 25,000 and above, more or less. Could be higher, but certain financial services maybe don't give as much. But the thing is, you don't have to have a huge following to do this at all. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you gotta have a dial focus on what you're doing. And again, I've had those days, and I still have those days where even if I have so much of a following in all places, it doesn't turn out the way it needs to be. There are still tire kickers. There are people who, I want money. Okay, then change their mind, or where do they go? There's no feedback. That's my biggest pet peeve is when they don't give you feedback, they don't stay patient, they don't have an open mind. Yeah, like I said, you can be the best at what you do, and that's why I would leave this industry. At any moment, I can leave it. It's not because of the money. I would leave it because of certain people. And I know how that sounds. You're like, well, you're being shallow. No. If you haven't done this enough, you'll have no place to say. But if you have, or if you've been in a different industry and you know, you know. And again, I'd rather be doing lead generation strategies, having a retainer on a client, continuously bringing in them leads, and then getting paid a certain amount per client, than having this whole debacle of people who I'm trying to put my energy and time into, and it just doesn't end up working out. They change their mind, they go in a different direction. And I'm not the bad person in this. It's their character that's getting in the way. It's usually what it is. And they don't communicate it with you sometimes. I know it. I know this industry. I know it so well with all the services. And so here, you got to plug in where they are. Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Pinterest? Are they on YouTube, blog? Don't spread yourself too thin too. Are you doing reels? What are you doing? Connect and build. Once you identify where your group is, it's time to make meaningful connections to build those relationships. You can do this by commenting on posts, using scripts that I provided, etc. And then send them your information, however you best see fit. Second, brand you. I won't go into all of that, but brand yourself. 3 types of people to, I don't like to use the word, so I might change that, but to give people capital to, or to aid them to. 1, cold people, known as cold traffic. 2, warm people, known as warm traffic. And sorry, I had to move this. 3, hot people, known as hot traffic. Not like actual hot people, but the traffic, the source. And then the commission plan, compensation plans, wherever you're associated with. I might show you that. I may not show you that. Different ways of marketing yourself. The 10 plus best ways, although there are many more. Warm market, starting with your friends and family, coworkers, etc. Number 2, local lead generation, go in person. This is the same thing about going in person and going through a bank manager, going through your CPA, your real estate investor friend, the person at Walmart who knows a person, going into an established business, a chiropractic, a dentistry, going into a manufacturing plant, a restaurant. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I don't have to do that anymore because not better than anybody. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I'm better than that. It's just, I don't want to be doing this, having to do that every single day. You have the internet, guys. This is now in a digital age where you guys should just pick up your phone. Hi, this is Lori with Simple. I know how fearful that is. I know that. I still have a lot of doubt doing video, and I'm not a video person at all, but I've learned the skill set. And with repetition, it works in your favor. I'd rather literally be the person just blogging, and I have a lot of blog posts that I've created, and I still do. But you have to show up where your people are, and if you're not using an effective strategy, it's probably time to change that. Number 3, old school newspaper advertising. I'd like to say old school meets new school, but that wouldn't be it on this case. Number 4, Google cold emailing. And I have strategies for this. I may show you a video that I'll link to down below, but I'll show you different ways of targeting there. And I got to update some of this too, but it's all there for the most part. Cold calling, I hate that. I'm not even going to spend time on this. If that's your thing, it's your thing. I'm not bashing down on anybody, but you're going to burn out. If it's you only doing it, unless you have a telemarketing center or a group of people, sure. If you decide that, then do it. But if you've been doing it by yourself and it's been working, okay, great. But again, like I said, it comes back to this whole thing. And there's systems out there. Don't buy into those things where I know how these people work. I know what lead generation are. And there's really nothing that like slides by me. Like some people try to be slick, like the way they word something. And I questioned somebody the other day about it, and they gave me like a similar response. I'm like, what are you trying to get away with? If you can't even be upfront with me, get away. And so what happens is you just have to be careful of, are you following the laws? And I'm not going to get into all that right now, but sorry, message from a client. Here's what I found. But what you have to understand is if you're going to be cold calling, you can burn out at this. I don't want to be using my voice on a call. Somebody really want to be getting a phone call from you? Heck, I'm not going to answer your call. You could be the best thing since 1999 or whatever. I don't care. I'm not picking up your call. Or if I picked it up, I'm doing it to entertain it. Or I'm just in a very happy mood on a Friday, and I'm just going to pick. Normally it doesn't happen, but I'm just going to pick up the call. No thanks, I'm not interested. But then try to get another word. And if I need any of this, I'll make sure to keep your number and send you a text. I'm not going to call you. But I'll let them know. I'm not going to be wanting to get phone calls from people. And there's systems out there. Maybe you've heard of them. I'm not going to say the name. But these lead generation specialists, they house like the system where if you purchase something, you can get in there and get access to leads. They're not necessarily fresh leads always. Sometimes they are. But they're regurgitated. You don't always have access to that one person. Everybody else does. And maybe I'm talking to people where I don't use that system and they've been spoken by somebody else. But when they come to me, they usually stay with me because they like who I am. They like my personality. They know I'm not pushy. They know I'm not like that person in a certain state or in a certain place that's very salesy and likes to talk and do things in a way that the other person wouldn't want it to. So I calm them down. I say, hey, I'm not like anybody you've worked with before. I go into a little bit of the reason why. So you have to reassure them that you're different than someone else because they're getting bombarded. Here's another one. We have your outsourced calling. I gave you guys examples on what to do there if you want to do that. So we'll go through this part though. Google blogging. I do a lot of that. I have a big presence now that I've built that. That's one way you guys can do it. Website forwarding. You put your link on like a WordPress plugin. Excuse me. And then you would direct your link to your site to the actual forwarded site you want to send them. Then here you have Google Ads. I've done a lot of this. Some campaigns I'm still running. I've paused certain ones, shut some of them down, iterated. Don't always have to run them, obviously, myself, because I have the other ways of generating that traffic or people coming through. But Google Ads is a great way. I've learned what works, what doesn't work. Stop believing what other people tell you not to run ads. But if you're not targeting the right keyword, you could be spending a lot of money. So it's just about where you put those ads in front of people. That's important. It's not about always saying, well, I have to list them on the top page of Google or other search engines. You have other ways of doing this as well. So let's go over here. I think I skipped a few things. Yeah. Elevator music. I give you guys a breakdown too, the cost of running Google Ads, so you guys really see the numbers for yourself. So here, create a YouTube channel. How many of you in here feel comfortable doing video? It's not my thing, but I'm well versed. See, I have people already submitting my forms on my site without me being present on social media because I've created content enough for it to work. Content on Pinterest, content on Instagram, content on TikTok. I know I'm still the same. Like, really? Never thought I'd be able to use that site. Until this day, I have to pinch myself. Like, why am I using it? But it works very well if you're doing it correctly. I don't have to always be present on a YouTube video because that's running for me on the search engines and the algorithms are doing their work and more. Recommended. And then I have blogs that right now, if I go through my Google Analytics, I'm going to do it right now as we speak. I'm going to probably go through it here. I have it on my mobile phone. And right now, look, I have a load of people who are on my site. I can tell by real time what posts they're viewing, what is the average view duration, what is the bounce rate, how many pages did they go from to, when did they exit. I can understand customer behavior, acquisition, costs, strategies, put some goals in there, and then move forward. So things are kind of all running all over the place because I built them. And I took a lot of time to do that. So that's the thing, though. You got to put sweat equity. It's not always about putting money. It's about sweat equity. Share content, useful content online. Email marketing. I do a lot of that. I do that consistently. I broadcast it to you guys today. I broadcasted it to my clients and a lot of clients. reminding them of a video or a blog post, sharing the link to where you want to send them to, making sure everything's correct. That's another way. You have down here LinkedIn marketing. I do a lot of that as well, still do. Make connections. LinkedIn is a great place. And I'm going to give you guys an understanding of not how just to use the free account, but also premium, how to use Sales Navigator and more of them. Again, guys, I can't go through every one of these. You guys are like, well, you should show me. Well, there's content down below. And again, this is way beyond time, way more than I needed to. It's already 1:50. I should have been doing something else, but it's okay. No worries. So here, LinkedIn marketing, I show you guys the strategies. Down here, let's go to the next one. LinkedIn Premium and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Then I show you those strategies if you have that. Newsfeed posting for LinkedIn strategy. I still do that. Get a lot of views on my content, depending on what kind of content as well. Facebook marketing. For many of you who are familiar, this is a strategy that can be used, but just doing it effectively. Just don't spam people. See, I have a Facebook profile. You guys can have one that looks different. Mine might change over time, but it's a funnel. You're using your Facebook profile as a funnel to send people through your bio, to then click somewhere else to go to a Facebook page, to go through an automated ManyChat bot sequence where then you're sending them a free PDF guide they can download so that it sends them to their email inbox. And then from there, you have an email sequence that's broadcasting a series of 5 day after day emails, and then you send them to an offer, and then you're continuously broadcasting or sequencing them into different campaigns. I know this sounds kind of confusing to you guys, but if it does, but hey, this is stuff you'll learn. You can place your link here too. I have a few strategies on what to do in groups and stuff. Let me move up here. Like, nah, that's not what I would have done. Don't just say, who needs business funding? Like, it can work. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but you're not gonna attract the right people, guys. It's just about attracting the right people. Let's see. I give you guys examples of what happens in the comments. If you guys know, you know. Search for small businesses like this. You can do it on Facebook. I show you guys a multi-channel approach. If you go through LinkedIn, you could start off with Facebook and only do Facebook. But I show you guys from go to LinkedIn, then to Google email, and then to do a Facebook like or love post on their page so they know it's you. You might not want to message them like that right away, but there's other ways of doing this. Different versions you guys can use. Let's go over here. More Facebook strategies. Reverse engineering, giving people the right offers. Cost to run Facebook ads. Craigslist. Oh, there's many more. Let me keep moving through this. TikTok. Pinterest, there might be Instagram. You see there. Facebook Reels. Surveys, quizzes, Kickstarter, crowdfunding. There's Pinterest. Alignables, a great network. Quora. I'm going to be updating this one with like Alignable and a few things hopefully soon. Web Talk. More ways than one. Clubhouse, Twitter, and the different messaging scripts, conclusions, strategies, combining strategies. You'll want to go through all this, okay? As much as you can go through it, of course. Different training videos, things I can show you guys. There's some extra training. Might be still on this document you guys can go through. And where you can follow me and so forth, if need be. Okay, so there's more I'm going to add to this, but it's all there for the most part. And this is where I want to end the video. Hopefully you guys got value from it. It's been it went too long. But I hope you guys got value from it. You guys understand now what strategies to use, what you can do. You can do a combination of. There shouldn't be any excuses. The only excuses are because of a lack of belief. It comes from rooted in fear. You just haven't done enough into these strategies and tactics. you've let one thing bother you and get in the way, you have to really understand that you have to move forward and continuously doing this. And so different services, I may have that also as well in the document that you can check out to get aligned with lenders, organizations, startup, non-startup funding, real estate, collateralized programs, revenue-based, and many more. Excuse me. But again, hopefully you got value. If you did, it's another burp. I had an egg earlier, had a late brunch. Yeah. And so if you did, please give it a thumbs up, share with others who you feel will find value from it. It can be a complete friend, a stranger, or a complete stranger, a friend, or a family member. Sorry, I'm kind of tired now. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content that I'll be coming out with. And again, remember, this isn't complicated stuff. The only thing that can be complicating, and I say this really to be honest, can be the person you're working with. They can complicate their life. They can sabotage themselves. They can let their character get in the way. Or maybe you don't have someone like that and they resonate with you. You can do everything you needed to, everything right. But one thing that went wrong is the person's character, the person's actions. And that's sometimes what you can't control, and it sucks. But it is what it is, and it happens. And at a time, you'll question yourself and you say, if this is even worth it. I've been there, so I know what it is like. All right. So I think I did share everything. I think I did share everything with everybody. Yes, that will complete everything. Appreciate you guys. I know there are processes to this and how to do it correctly. And I will leave it at that. Look in the description for more information. And I will see you and talk to you on the next one.